Hi guys, welcome back. I'm excited to bring to you Turnabout in the Lighthouse Lunacy Act 3. We're finally onto a new act. Because in the last video, we found out there was another murder. And then, when we got back into the trial, we found out that it was probably Lillian. Although, it might not be. But that's where the evidence seems to be put in. And it seems to be an eerily similar situation to the one Aurelia found herself in. And we found out that there's another witness to the first crime, the one that Aurelia is accused of. And so now, we're going to be cross-examining that witness. You can tell that, because this is a new save, but you can tell that a lot of variables have been saved, especially for conversations and stuff, because I had to reload again when I clicked it. Anyway. The Cave Adventure. Sorry about that. I wanted to explore. What was I do last time? Oh yeah. I wanted to explore the tunnels because I was bored. Then I heard a noise and took a closer look from my cover. I fell in search for something deep inside that lair. Meanwhile, the merchant entered with a knife and closed the door behind her. She tried to be sneaky, but the villain noticed her. The two started a fight. The villain made her stagger back. There was a loud noise in the flash, and the merchant collapsed. That's all I know. I was so shocked that I fell down.
What, why, if all of this is true, directly witness the murder take place. Why didn't you call this witness right away, Miss Preston?
Had I been aware of her start of the trial, I would certainly have chosen to do so. Surprisingly, even I do not possess the power of omniscience, but she only approached me during the last recess.
Oh, I see.
You have hopefully appreciated the fact that the victim was shot and fell during her fight with the defendant. It's no wonder she pleaded the fifth. Since the door was closed at the time and there were no further openings, any notion of another shot has become absurd. It was absurd to begin with, but some people always need more convincing. Well, she described more or less exactly what happened. Can I make any use of this, I wonder? Marco, was it? How come you waited this long if you straight up saw me do it? I thought it would be better to not get into trouble. Because I did wander into the forbidden parts of the land and heard that makes people angry. The detective and the princess were already on the case. And it looked like they caught you without my help, villain. I prefer not to be called a villain. Kind of prejudicial, no? But you look evil. If I had to catch you in a game, I'd totally make you the final boss. Well, that's flattering in some way, but... Are you going to be mean to me? Mean people suck. That depends entirely on your answers to my questions. Liar, I saw what you did to the last witness. I came here to put a stop to this, you villain. But I'm just a tiny bit scared, so I prefer if you stop being mean without a fight. Now, here's something interesting. I did say last video I read that wrong and surname there. I mistook that for his surname. But interesting to note, even though the names aren't the same, so I don't think they're related, they do have the same initials. And the initials of this guy were important because of this suitcase. And, you know, if he was lying about that suitcase, I don't know why he would, yeah. Could be her suitcase. Kind of interesting. I don't know if that will come up or if it's just a red herring, but still it's been interesting. That last one was entirely on the witness, though.
Miss Chase, you are going to be nice to the witness. I will not tolerate any pestering.
I literally didn't do anything yet. We'll see how it goes. Let's start the cross-examination. It's actually been a while since we had a new character introduced because, I mean, Monopoly was the last new character introduced. We saw these two right at the beginning, but all three of them got properly introduced at the trial. We've known everyone else for a while now, so it's interesting to have a fresh new face. You must have known what to expect with an auction. I wanted to buy something cool, like a magic wand or a weapon. But it was all just coins and old stuff. Well, we were just getting to a weapon when things got cut short. Which begs the question, when exactly did you remove yourself from the auction? There were 3 witnesses observing the hallway during the break, so I got bored after the first 3 items.
Typical! Today's youth and their lousy attention span!
Seems like Mr. Dow was doing better at least. So, you mean to say you managed to sneak into the hallway during the ongoing auction? Yeah, nobody really paid attention. I didn't attempt that because I was sure people would see someone standing up. But someone this small might actually be able to slide down without anybody noticing. And, did you see anything I missed while in the hallway or the display room? A miss? I didn't see any women. No, I meant anything suspicious, like something that's out of place. I guess it looked normal for a museum. You didn't notice the hole in the wall then? I mean the hole in the window then? Or a hole in the sky? I didn't see that. It was covered by the curtain. It's a shame. It looked fun. Do you think we could jump into the ocean from there? That would almost certainly not end well. Please stop wanting to jump to your deaths, witnesses. Can we jump into the Sea of Japan? No, this takes place in America, are you stupid? What kind of noises did you hear? It was like rustle, rustle, thump, thump. That does not really tell me much. That's no surprise with your lack of imagination. The witness heard the sound of you clumsily fumbling around the study. Yeah, it was her. You're clumsy. It was so loud. Yeah, I need to work on my stealth. Lillian, why aren't you here to rub it in? And this cover was the vent cover in the study? Isn't that pretty far up? Well, that's child's play for an adventurer. I just climbed up. Impressive. And this cover. Just how much can you actually see through? The gaps are not large enough for a bullet to pass through. Just to preempt any asinine ideas you might have. I wasn't thinking about that. Do I look like I'd just accuse anyone if given the chance? Okay, maybe I've made 1 or 2 accusations. Don't judge me, Your Honor. I could see through the cover. I just had to get my face really close. And inside was... I mean, this is what I did. I doubt I can really question anything here. I take it that was definitely. No, I'm not gonna go after you for that one, Blackrune, because I always misspell. Definitely. Stupid villain. There are no other villains here. What about the previous witness, Mr. Nelland? He did turn somewhat villainous at the end. That's not a villain. That's the devil. This childish exchange is a decidedly a waste of time. Is that really all you're going to ask? There must be some other interesting points. What was this villain looking for example? That's probably not that relevant, ultimately. Oh, please. I doubt it's less relevant than your excuse for a question. Go ahead, Mariko. What do you think she was trying to find? A book, maybe? Or a document? She kept looking at the bookshelf and the stuff on the desk. Maybe there's hidden treasure map. Oh, very enlightening. Well, Aurelia, is she correct? On the right track? At least you're intelligent enough to know when to stay quiet. What could be worth all this trouble? Quite wondrous. Can I proceed with my cross-examination? Thanks. So she closed the door behind her. Did you see her locker? I don't know. Her body was in the way. I only saw the hand that held the knife. So she wasn't able to tell if the manager merely used the handle or also turned the key. If the manager locked it, what happened to the key? If she didn't, then who managed to lock it? I guess this will help me narrow that one down. Oh well. And about the knife, was she holding it ready to attack me? What? She gripped it like a knife. Doesn't that seem a bit hasty to you? She had the knife ready before even confirming the situation. Your desperate attempt to spin this in your favor won't be effective, Aurelia. She knew there was an intruder in the room. Keeping a weapon ready is the bare minimum of prudence. She's right. You should never go on an adventure without a weapon. It didn't help her. Did you get the impression that if I hadn't noticed, she'd just have stabbed me in the back? That sounds mean. She held the knife pretty high. Maybe she wanted to do that. Pure speculation. She may have simply intended to threaten and restrain you. That's true. Maybe she just wanted to tie you up. Let me ask something else. Who attacked first? I think the merchant started it. An amicable reminder that you are still the aggressor in this scenario. You not seriously believe that you can trespass, pull a gun, and still claim self-defense. Now hold on. Surely that would not give her a free pass to attack me. She didn't even ask me to leave first or anything.
Did the defendant and the victim exchange any words, witness?
Yes. She asked the villain to surrender. Ugh, she did actually ask me that. But it felt like she just wanted me to drop my guard so she could stab me.
The defendant drew a gun in response. It appears clear who escalated the situation. How did this altercation end?
The villain made her stagger back. There was a loud noise and a flash, and the merchant collapsed. What kind of noise was it? You're not that stupid. Stop pretending. It was a bang! Just making sure. You didn't say you actually saw me firing the gun, you know. It was a fight, and the merchant blocked the view. But what else would make a flash and a bang? Glad you asked. I'll tell you what else. Say the TV was turned on during that fight. The screen would have seemed bright temporarily. Especially to someone inside a dimly lit study or a dark vent. The shot? I think we've gone over how it could have been from that TV show. Oh, even if we grant you this atrocious claim, there is still one thing you skipped in your explanation. The victim collapsed immediately after that gunshot. How would that make any sense? The shot was fake. Because she's the one who faked it? Please do not attempt to make claims. She merely happened to be surprised and slipped. There's a limit to convenience. Maybe it was all part of an act? Which is actually what I just said. Oh, I almost cannot believe it. You actually managed to come up with something even more asinine. Witness, did anybody know you were watching from inside the vent? No way, it was a top secret exploration mission. Thank you, even though that much should have already been apparent to you, Aurelia. Well, they weren't trying to fool her, they were trying to fool Aurelia herself. Right? A play cannot succeed without its audience. The victim could not have been cognizant of the fact that she was being watched. You know, it's not so cognizant spelled with a Z, but I'm going to assume that's the American spelling. Because there's a lot of American spellings that substitute Z for S. Who was she intending to fool? There would have been no point to it. Well, me maybe? I was the only other person in the room. There's a limit even to ignorance. You'd be the one best equipped to tell whether you fired your gun or not, I would hope. And even if she managed to make you consider it, to what ends would it have mattered? The only conceivable plan would have been to frame you for her own death. Yet for that, fooling you would not have been necessary. If that had been the whole intention, she could have simply shot herself in your presence. Nobody will believe you. Hate to say it, but she's right. If the point was to frame me, there'd be no need to also make me believe it. Unless you were in for a truly perfect crime for some reason. Ooh. The perfect crime? Member of the Queen's a crime. And it does seem like it's all too convenient. Like, she set it up to get revenge on both Aurelia and Lillian. Or, as I also theorise, someone could have been setting it up that way and then invited her to the auction knowing they could weaponize that, you know, disdain. So just out of the work made ways in my mind, it seems I'll be stuck with this for the time being. Victoria's strategy is obviously to dismiss that incident and keep focusing on establishing my guilt. Well, I have to wait for a way to force their hand. So what do we do about this? I thought an eyewitness would be bad, but maybe I could use this to spin things in my favour. If I could somehow show the manager was up to no good, she focused on her actions. It's really hard to actually turn this into a self-defense play, but who knows? That's not relevant? That's not relevant? That's not relevant. Left hand outer in a handle, right hand outer in a handle. Melanie Holden right hand. If she entered with a knife. Now hold, let's think about this. So she's saying she entered with a knife and closed the door behind her. Now, when you say enter with a knife, you presumably mean, you know, you use one hand to hold the knife, the other hand to open the door, right? And open and close the door. It says Melanie Holden right hand held this knife. The door, Melanie Holden right hand, outer and inner handle. Now, she was holding the door with the right hand. How could she also be holding a knife? Yes. I'm sorry, but what you just said makes no sense. Considering this.
How does the knife contradict what the witness said, Miss Chase?
It does not. She just blindly presented the knife because the witness mentioned it. You're right. It doesn't contradict the statement on its own. The issue will become clear once we combine it with another piece of evidence will reveal the contradiction.
You object with more than one piece of evidence. I hope you're not planning to present the entire court record. I've seen a lawyer try that once.
That shouldn't be necessary. The contradiction will be clear if we consider the statement, the knife, and this. The witness saw the victim close the door. That's possible. She saw her holding the knife. There's no problem here either. But doing both at the same time? There's no way that happens. Rude, I saw her do it.
What makes you say it's not possible, Miss Chase?
The key are the fingerprints. Miss Holden's fingerprints have been found on both the knife and the handle. I'm proud of myself for getting that one so quickly, but yeah, fingerprints, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, you know, if you were gripping a knife, you could, I guess, open a door, but that would mean you were holding something in your other hand. And it could be the key. Maybe? Either that, or she's mistaken about what she saw, she was lying somehow. The witness never specified which hand the victim used. There's absolutely no non-imaginary argument to be made here, you Philistine. Come now, surely someone with your IQ can understand the nuance to this. If the victim used one hand to hold the knife while closing the door with the other, then how come both objects only have prints from the same hand? What? That isn't right. She closed the door with her right hand. The knife is in her left. As I just explained, I should have left fingerprints with her left hand on this knife. How do you explain the absence, witness? Rude, rude, rude! You complain and I have to explain? I bet you just say that to call my testimony fake. Then you'll say I'm the real villain. What? I wasn't planning to take it that far. Don't play dumb. I know your attack patterns. Take this, villain. Aha! A tuning fork? So there was more than one. Why do you... Oh, this is the same one. Why do you have that fork? Did you just call my weapon a fork? Rude! An adventurer is always prepared for battle. This is an Atlantean trident made out of orichalcum. Take that, Sonic Beam! Am I supposed to be intimidated? Do you even know what a trident is? No effect? Impossible! I appreciate your contribution, witness. However, this opponent must be humiliated using intelligence, not physical strength. Do I have the specs for that? Adventurers are smart, right? Leave this part to me. Are you sure? You use an umbrella indoors. You don't seem smart. My intellect is the only certainty in this world. Don't question it again. Yay! Okay, do your thing, funny princess. Don't boost her ego too much now. Anyway, what is this? Is she intentionally acting like a kid to make me hold back? To be fair, I can see Lillian fooling around in a similar way. Oh, stop, you can't keep thinking about her right now. Stay focused. You claim the victim could not have held the knife in her left hand. However, this is merely a result of your flawed interpretation. The victim could very well have held that knife without leaving any prints on the handle.
How would that be possible?
It's laughably simple. Her left hand never touched the knife's handle. The knife was still within its sheath at the time, which she could have gripped instead. Now hold on. That would have left her prints in the sheath, surely. One would think coming up with so many outlandish theories would have trained your imagination. Alas, it would seem that there is still more work required. Take any similarly long, flat object. Perhaps one of those popular distractions, a smartphone. Realize that you can hold such an object in your palm without fully closing your grip. Your fingertips would not even come into contact with the object. The victim held the sheath like that in her left hand and then pulled out the knife with her right. Your contradiction has been resolved. A laughably trivial exercise. Well, can I make one point that you're immediately calling it bad?
If the victim held the knife like that would explain the absence of fingerprints. In other words, there appears to be no issues with Miss Mariko's testimony.
Nice, it was effective. So what I saw was a sheath thing with a knife in it. That makes sense. It looked a bit weird for a knife. Does that mean she goes to prison now?
Your testimony established we are certainly moving closer to something like that.
They might just call it right here. Not good. This misunderstanding only happened because Miss Mariko failed to mention some crucial parts. She never mentioned the way the knife was held or how it swapped hands when drawn. she should give a clearer testimony about how the fight played out. Wow, you didn't ask. This is your own fault. Oh, your stalling attempts are beginning to become more crude, Aurelia. I almost didn't think it possible. Oh, accept the reality that you were seeing and there is no possibility to argue your way out of it.
I must concur with Miss Preston. This is beginning to look like the defendant is merely buying time.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to call it out, come on.
This testimony will be permitted, but there won't be any more if something comes of it.
Fair, Your Honour. Got no choice anyway. I will defeat you as many times as you want. Or until it gets boring. The deadly fight. Like the princess said, the merchant held the sheath thingy in her left hand. She put it in a pocket and tried to be sneaky, but the villain hurt her. So where was the sheath found? Lying a small distance away. I guess it could have fallen out of the pocket. There was an intense standoff. Everyone gave their battle speech and the victim drew her gun. The merchant closed in with her weapon. The villain dodged the first attack and blocked the second. This made the merchant stagger back. And then she was shot and fell, defeated. Weird way to say someone was killed, but...
I must admit I had not seen much of a difference. The victim confronted the defendant and was killed during the struggle. That will change.
I relate to the plight of this witness, as different as our station might be. You should be grateful I am benevolent enough to teach you this valuable lesson, Aurelia. If I aim to avoid boredom, I evidently should never have participated in this farce. I don't know. Things should be about to become really interesting. Calling this witness to the stand might have been your biggest blunder yet, Victoria. Those proclamations hold little value, uttered by someone with your level of understanding. I'll make you understand soon enough. Testimony is blatantly at odds with the court record, and I intend to make full use of it. Well, that makes me think there's no need to press, but, you know, I'm going to press everything anyway. So I want to get as much of this flavoured dialogue as I can. And information. Could have been more clear about that from the start. You didn't say it was important. It's your fault. Putting that aside, did you truly see the victim pull a knife from the sheath as described? What? She pulled out a knife. It's not complicated. Right. But was she holding the sheath in the left hand and pulled it out with the right? You're only talking about the knife to distract from your gun.
That may well be so. Still, please answer her question.
I only saw the merchant's back. Check out giving the layout of where the vent is. Right, victim was there. So would have came in this way. Right. But I did see the knife in her right hand after she did it. She must have pulled it out of the sheath in her other hand. Now where is the cut on her hand? Small cut on tip of right index. And a faint amount of her blood was found on the handle, so she did hold it with that cut hand. I really wish I could point out as well, because I've already figured it out. Somewhere here it says about the glass case. There's a glass case and the victim cut a finger on it. And that's where I'm assuming she got the knife, because it says draw this weapon if you're prepared to kill. So the reason she's drawing that weapon is because she is prepared to kill, not defend herself. I learned how to fight the villain. With logic. I have to prove every single goddamn step and this gets full marks? Jeez, Victoria. Well, I suppose. What did you do next? what was it exactly that gave her away? Don't play dumb. You were there. She obviously made some noise, but I don't quite recall. It was too sudden. Help my memory. She coughed to clear the throat. That's not exactly what I expected. Someone trying to be sneaky would surely manage to hold that in. Careful what you want to argue for, Aurelia. You made yourself accidentally worsen your own case with this mindless method. If the victim cleared her throat to get your attention, that would mean her intention was to honorably confront you all along, not to stab you in the back. Well, it could also have been accidental like we assumed, I guess. I need to be careful what to focus on with this witness, what this witness saw. Battle speech, I'm curious what this. Do you recall the conversation? Surrender now, scum! Mwahaha! Don't get ahead of yourself. Let me explain my evil plan. Something like that. Absolutely nothing like that. Now, it would be interesting if she heard the old crow line. If I remember correctly, they might have just said, just surrender quietly, Snoop. I told her to calm down. I wanted to make up an excuse for being there. I doubt the contents of that conversation would help me much, though. Did you hear me say anything else? I didn't refer to the victim as an old crow, right? If that did happen, did you actually see me move my lips? I didn't hear that. But that happened after the fight was over, right? The gunshot surprised me. I fell down the shaft and passed out for some minutes. I must have missed it. That's unfortunate. Hope you're not hurt. Don't feel sorry for me. I won't be sorry for you. You started fighting with the merchant. I saw it all. Well, what isn't this a charming witness? There we have it. She attacked first. Yes, after you illegally entered her property with a gun. How many times do we have to revisit this point before it manages to reach your hippocampus? See, we have stand my ground laws here in America. As expected, arguing for self-defense will be challenging. Did I dodge and blocked? How did I block? With your arms? Against a knife? You pushed forward so her arms bumped into yours. Right, so I merely tried to block her arms from swinging with my own arm. I didn't try and grab or shove her, otherwise fight back violently, no? But that's because you had a gun. You were waiting for a good chance to shoot. That's why the fight ended so fast. Now I'm wondering, because if this was all a plan, like planned out thing, what would the plan if she didn't bring a gun? Or did they know that she was bringing a gun somehow? The only two people who should have known she had a gun were Lillian, Guard, and I guess Undercover, because we didn't show it to her. I don't think we showed it to, because we didn't really talk to anyone else before the auction, and showing it to Undercover was optional, I think. It might not have been optional. Maybe we needed to not proceed. I don't remember, but yeah. Or maybe we didn't show it to her, maybe we just sort of were like, no, we couldn't show it to her. I'll have to go and rewatch that to see. But yeah, the gun, if they did plan to make it seem like a shot, you know, they must have known she'd have a gun and pull it out. From your position, the victim should have been blocking a fair bit of your view of me. Did you actually see me pull the trigger? No, I saw a flash and heard the bang. You were holding a gun. There were no other guns in that lair. The victim was facing your direction at the time, collapsing right after the shot. I know it doesn't look good if you put it like that, list it like that. This is a pretty futile angle of attack right now. I can't convince him I didn't fire the gun. Even TV idea is sufficient on its own. I should look for another way to fight back. Hold on. Now, if this is facing the same way, then the shooter would have been in autonomy, right? If they were firing upwards and it was these holes. And they were covered up. Scene we found does not agree with the actions this witness saw. That's what it means. Well, I'll worry about that later. If this plays out how I think it will, there could be finally a chance for a counter-attack. Really? The fact that she put it in her pocket, maybe, because it wasn't found in her pocket. I'm gonna take a chance with that. Yeah. She pocketed it. The sheath, I presume. Either way, that can't be right. Stop interrupting me. Who do you think you are, you little twerp? Who are you to call... Oh, I'll just get to the point. The victim did not pocket the sheath. It was found on the floor, not in the victim's pocket. You complete imbecile. Oh, wrong voice there. Are you imitating me? Are you making fun of me too? You complete imbecile. It could simply have fallen out. The victim's clothes already suggested a very minor struggle, which matches what this witness just described. She took a couple of swings and fell over, that was it. Things would just conveniently fall out of pockets, otherwise this key should have fallen out as well. Ah. What evident desperation to try and insist on such a thing. What do you think you're gaining from this? It's a discrepancy on a level that can simply be ignored. Absent any other explanation, you are forced to accept it as fact. Request for another explanation received. You ready for it? Do it then. I'm ready. What do you think I'm about to do? Accuse me of being the bad guy. That's your plan, right? I just wanted to stop all the fights, to go home. But if you can't help it, then do what you must. Well, since you're asking so nicely, I'll go right away. I'll go right and say it. The witness is the culprit. The witness is mistaken, so I'll move the sheath later. I do think it is the third one, but I do want to say the first two ones, so I've made a save still. Miss Marco just said something wrong in court. That clearly means she's the real culprit. Book it. If we were going by those standards, why everyone except me would have to be arrested. But she was crawling through the vent, isn't that suspicious? The ventilation shaft provably doesn't allow real access to the crime scene.
It's rather hasty for an accusation. The witness lacks any plausible opportunity.
Nah, she fell for it. Alright, you took out there. This is the run of the right. Witness, you didn't actually see her put the sheath in her pocket, did you? Rude, of course I saw it. I won't allow you to pulse as I move again. This witness readily admitted to trespassing. There's no reason for her to make up testimony like this last one. Her inconsistency hard to discredit her completely. Well, yeah, this one actually saw things. She got too many details right. I'd like to ask the witness a simple clarifying question that she should clear us up.
Very well, feel free to ask your question. I don't trust you're going somewhere with this chase.
He's not the eyes of a man who has any faces. Oh well, I just to clear up the reason for this. Marco. What is it, villain? Please be honest. What does a gun do? Did you really see the knife? What is all this? Was that the right option? What does a gun do? What does a gun do exactly? It goes bang and shoots bullets. He didn't know? Yeah, I had no idea what a gun was until today. Wow, then it was an accident? Oh, you haven't heard the right to insult the intelligence of others, Aurelia?
I totally expected us to go somewhere else, but that's one of the worst excuses I've ever had. ever heard. I've heard a lot.
I'm not sure either. This had nothing to do with the witness seeing the victim put the sheet into her pocket. Got another question, Mariko. Were they actually paid actors? You say you witnessed a crime, but what if, and hear me out on this one, what if the two people you saw were paid actors and staged a crime? What? You heard me. We thought the vent led to the crime scene, but what if the witness was actually looking into a different room?
Ooh, Miss Chase, the crime hadn't even happened yet. How would they be able to arrange it?
What a revealing suggestion. No doubt you've indulged in reading the most decadent mystery novels. Your actors would need to be psychic to be aware of the fact that this witness would be watching. Well, why not? It's not that hard to be a psychic paid actor. Let me demonstrate. His Honor is thinking about giving me a penalty.
You are correct.
It will prove my point if you do it, Your Honor.
But if I don't, that'll mean you're deserving of one.
Morton's fork. There is no real dilemma.
If you're really psychic, Miss Chase, then I'm sure you will be able to come back from this.
It was an act, but sadly I'm not being paid for it. What's a sheath? I find it interesting that you didn't even mention the sheath until we brought it up. And even then, you referred to it as a sheath thingy in your testimony. So let me ask, do you even know what we're talking about? Are you stupid? You made it obvious. It's something you can put a knife on in. For reference, this is what we've been talking about when we mentioned the sheath.
Does that sheath have your name on it, Miss Chase?
Let's stay focused on the witness, Your Honor. What? You're trying to trick me, cheater. That's a scabbard. So was this the right path? I honestly thought that was not, like, a correct path. I'm going to make a save state there. I'm going to say someone moved the sheath later. What if somebody moved the sheath after the fact? That'll be clear proof that somebody messed with the crime scene.
It could conceivably have happened, but I wouldn't call it tampering. What would moving the sheath from the pocket to the floor accomplish?
Absolutely nothing. It's completely inconsequential. Furthermore, the complete lack of fingerprints on the sheath does not support this exclusive notion. Still, if this is sufficient to make somebody like you happy, we can accept somebody misplaced the sheath by accident. On second thought, this might not have been the best thing to go with. Surely evidence does not completely falsify it, but it will only pursue it. You no longer afford to be this passive, I have to aim for more critical thoughts. Disregard that idea, but we're going to, Did you really see the knife? Did you really see the knife? Yes. She attacked with it. Of course I saw it. That's a little strange. Just how were you able to see a knife in the door? What? It was shiny and very easy to see. The lights in the study were on. Calling it dark is ignoring reality. Right.
All the evidence suggests the victim did in fact bring a knife. And if the victim didn't even bring that, it would make your case even worse. I'm not sure where you meant to go with this, Miss Chase.
I think I'm getting somewhere, but that wasn't quite it. Anyway, back to the correct timeline. Oh. Yeah, that's a scabbard. You thought an adventurer wouldn't know? I'm sure there's some kind of distinction there, but that's besides the point. The point is that you thought that there's a notable difference. Otherwise you could have just referred to it as a scabbard all along. Oh, this is the apex of pedantry. The apex legend. What are you attempting to take this to? This one? I'm taking it all the way to the bank. The witness did not know the word sheath, but she knew the word scabbard. Yet she did not ever use the word she knew until I actually showed her the sheath to her. In other words, she didn't see this sheath. Therefore, she saw the victim put something different in her pocket. Ah! I see. Your aim could not be any more crudely apparent. You're still hopelessly attempting to make the victim appear suspicious in some manner. Well, let's cover our bases before we talk about what my aim is. Am I right? This was not the item the victim put in their pocket, Miss Mariko? I didn't mean to lie. It wasn't that. It was more shiny. I didn't see what it was at first. I assumed it was a knife, but she held that later. When you called it a sheath, I thought it made sense. It's not my fault I got it wrong.
Why did you simply ask what a sheath is, Miss Mariko?
Because I thought if I asked too many questions, the villain would call me stupid. So I tried to figure it out myself. If you watch this trial, you should know there's no such thing as a stupid question. No, all your questions so far demonstrate precisely the opposite.
What did the victim actually put into her pocket then?
I don't know what it's called. Let's recap. You stuck it for the knife at first because it looked shiny. And if you saw it as a plausible sheath, it must have been something large enough for a knife to fit inside. Ridiculous, as expected. There was nothing on the scene that matches those properties. Maybe not, but I might still have something that fits the bill. Would you be able to recognize it if I showed it to you? I remember all the wonders that I have seen on my travels. Maybe. Good enough to give this a shot. It's shiny, it's larger than a knife, and the victim might have carried it. What would fit? Something larger than a knife and shiny, so it can't be the king. It will make sense anyway. A cake. I'm pretty sure this is what a cake is. Let's read this. Head count, elevator, ID, metal detector. Punch devices, what are they? 3D printer, autonomous drone. Another device can fire a gun inserted into it and analyze the resulting rifle marks. No, I don't think it's any of them. Soon Holden used this to keep the alternate useful. Melanie did hold it. Door. Can't put the TV, can't put the key. This newspaper doesn't show anything really, does it? Holden's business history, nope. 2 holes, definitely not. Past incidents. Doesn't mention anything shiny, does it? Nope. Bulletproof vest? No. Broken display sign. Off-glass case, a symbol pod. No. I also had another thought, and it's the guard might have used that baton to try and attack Lillian with. And that's why she said, oh, self-defense. And she kind of shut up. She's like, I don't want to tell you anything. Melanie Holden's Prince Baton. She still hasn't been mentioned yet. Interesting. Wait, was God wearing the gloves? No. Was Lillian real then? Does it mention looking shiny near the profiles? Nope, nope, no. No. So, my best guess would have to be this cleaning spray. Like, in the bottle maybe. Really? If by shiny you just mean a bright colour, then this would fit the bill. Oh! That's the sheath! You found it! Still not a sheath.
Miss Chase, what is the meaning of this? I remember this cleaning spray being brought up before.
That's because it hasn't, Your Honour. This is not something that was found at the scene. Because it was never there. Your very witness just identified it. That's what the merchant put in her pocket for sure. You little... Stop talking about unnecessary matters. What? Now even the princess is rude.
It appears she's quite certain about seeing it. What could have happened to it?
It's pretty obvious what must have happened. This cleaning spray should have been in her pocket during the investigation. If it wasn't, that can only mean that somebody removed it.
It would appear to be the only way to explain it.
And the very next person to touch it was Susan Holden.
Wait, but then somebody...
Yeah. This is by no means to be taken out. Somebody tampered with the crime scene. I see. This is the angle. This is the angle you are attempting to choose.
This is quite serious if you are correct. You know who took the spray, Miss Chase.
Any accusation you make better be supported by the facts. The facts are pretty straightforward, I'll be happy to tell you. The cleaning spray was removed from the scene by this person, and the fingerprints said Susan Holden. There's the opening I was hoping for. Why would I limit myself to the victim? The real target should have been obvious from the start, Victoria. Susan Holden. That should remove this piece of evidence from the scene.
Plaintiff?
The neighbours back all along? What a twist! So the butler did it, but gender swap. I suppose it was only a matter of time before you would try something like this. You have absolutely no basis for this asinine claim. Oh, this is a losing battle for you, because this one couldn't be any more based. This Holden is literally the one who dropped this. Her fingerprints are also all over it. You have no evidence for the claim that she lost it. Do you seriously think that we'll simply accept your word for it? Her fingerprints are on it because she used it during the auction to clean the items for sale. Nice try, but that's meaningless. Your detective friend is capable of determining in what order fingerprints got on any object, and she determined that Miss Holden touched the spray after her mother held it. Are they able to do that in real life? I mean, I'd imagine they'd be able to, like, sort of maybe layer. They might be able to layer fingerprints, I'm not sure. I would assume that if you covered one up, it would get rid of it, but maybe not. Maybe they have some advanced technology. The witness confirmed when the victim held it last, which proves her daughter handled it after that. Recall what the first three witnesses said about what happened inside the room. When Miss Holden entered the study, she was the first to get close to the body. Meanwhile, everyone else was mostly occupied with me. There was a solid opportunity to remove something from the victim's pocket.
The evidence is convincing. It appears there is little doubt Miss Holland took it. Why would she do such a thing?
Perfect question, Your Honor. Just why wasn't it necessary to hide this from us? Unsheathed is a small hollow space. Will you stop with this nonsense already? There's absolutely nothing here, and even you know it. Even if she took it, what consequence is it? Her mother had died moments ago. She grabbed it without much rational thought. To call it tampering is vastly overstating a tolerable mistake made by my breeding client.
Well, that's true. She could have simply taken it by accident without any ulterior motive. Given the circumstances, it would be certainly understandable. Are you really going to blame someone who just lost their mother, Miss Chase?
That sympathy card might have worked on me if she didn't choose to arrange this trial. You think you can corner me? You've got to be prepared for me to fight back. A simple mistake? That's rich. This was intentional tampering. Miss Holden thought it necessary to bend things in her favour.
You have no qualms about insisting on this. However, it's unclear to me what exactly she meant to conceal with this act. It seems rather inconsequential whether the victim had that cleaning spray with her.
I disagree. It's quite significant. You have to ask yourself why the victim bothered to bring cleaning material to this confrontation. Doesn't it strike you as something that can do you more than help you in confronting the trespasser?
Well, it's true that I can't think of a good use in that situation.
Because she was planning to kill with a knife to clean the blood. Right. If that was really the situation, so she didn't hide the knife in the cleaning spray. That's what I thought we were going to go for, which wouldn't really make much sense. Just put the cleaning spray in the cup. Stop speaking in riddles and make your point, if you even have one. Why so agitated? Sure, I'll cut to the chase. I believe the victim bought the spray to confrontation for a very good reason. As a substitute for pepper spray, she thought I'm filthy. Now I do think it's the clean. It's gotta be. But she might have thought it had some use as a self-defense tool. It'll temporarily blind or distract someone if sprayed in their face.
I see, that's certainly possible. But if that's the case, why did she return it to her pocket?
She figured it wouldn't be needed after all, I guess.
I must say, after all this build-up, this feels like a rather underwhelming revelation. Wouldn't the victim bought an additional tool for self-defense? It doesn't really change much. Are you sure your argument is going somewhere?
I can't forget that I have to turn this in my favour. What I need is the most damning reason she could have had. The real reason is quite more significant, I promise. Stop speaking in riddles and make your point if you even have one. I'll cut to the chase. She thought I'm filthy. Well, there's no doubt the victim must have a pretty low opinion of me. Maybe she was so repulsed that she couldn't even approach me without bringing a cleaning tool. That would indeed have been a very intelligent course of action on her part. Your squalor is an objective fact to all senses. The repugnant smell of alcohol illuminates the sad fate of what little wit you once possessed. You gotta stop using every chance to fire an insult. Did I drink too much last night?
Miss Holden certainly had a good reason to think poorly of the defendant, who was intruding. Whether she took it that far is fairly immaterial to the trial. I recommend you clean up. Your argument, that is.
Of all the dumb things I could have thought. The real reason this was supposed to be an event. Yeah, the real reason is going to be much more interesting. But we're going to save that for next time. We actually... I mean, I know my penalty ball, it's... and I did technically make a mistake in assuming that what I thought was a fake wrong answer was actually the correct answer, so that's why I kept the penalties. But we actually pretty much we solved 2 testimonies, and you know, made a good amount of progress today. So yeah, just like last time, it was another productive episode, and I can't wait to see you next week for the next part. We're going to finally put to bed this mystery. Probably not. See you later.